So spoilers for Star Trek, and there were many, and I talked about some of it in the big review. But so I thought Peter Weller, RoboCop is the bad guy. I mean, he's RoboCop. He's a professor now, right? Isn't he?
I think so. Yeah,
he's like a classics classics professor at I think Syracuse.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. But I mean, I think that was just, to me, that was one thing that was super telegraphed that you could see coming very clearly.
Evil?
Yeah, that
well,
he's evil.
I mean, he's clearly trying to, he's clearly the George W. Bush. Like he wants to use this incident as an excuse to start a war with the Klingons.
Right, and he's actually, more than using the incident, he's like, let's
manipulating
let's
the
create more
incident,
Gulf of Tonkin. Let's make the incident.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. The whole, again, and I'm saying 9/11 was an inside job in quotes. I don't believe it, but that's the implication is the whole thing of him setting up Khan, he's Khan, everyone, if we didn't already know, to like shoot up all these people to set off the incident, blah, blah, blah. And then also the movie, the other big spoiler is that they recreate the ending of Star Trek II but in reverse, by having Kirk go inside the engine to fix the Enterprise as it's plummeting to Earth, and Spock has to go capture Khan so they can get his blood to then bring Kirk back to life, which I was a little disappointed by. It felt like that Oblivion kind of cake and eat it ending, where it's like, I thought, okay, here's the one big franchise where we can finally kill the hero, because we know from Star Trek 3 that they bring Spock back, and they could have just let Kirk die and then Genesis device him. But no, we got to wrap him up, all in one movie.
I mean,
all in one movie, all in like 6 minutes.
It's really fast at the end, and I know that there is great admiration within the Star Trek world for Wrath of Khan. It's considered like the best of all the films.
Yeah.
But again, I was saying this in the main review, like J.J. Abrams and his team are so clever. Like, come up with something new. Why just tweak Wrath of Khan? Make up your own story. You can do whatever you want here.
Like this,
right?
I half agree with you, because what I loved the way he brought us the characters in the first one, like seeing the characters meeting for the first time. So the idea of meeting Khan for the first time, the genesis of Khan, that strikes me as okay. I just don't think it was that clever. I think you could have done something new. It's just, again, it felt a little ordinary.
And also, when Khan pops up in Star Trek 2, he'd already been on the show, so there was some history there. Whereas you're right, here it's all in, out, done. Like they really kind of zip through the whole thing really quickly. No, I just.
I was going to ask you, did it bother you that the person who yells Khan this time is a different person?
No, I thought that was fine.
So, because Kirk yells Khan, but in this, Spock yells Khan. Like, does that bother you? That
wasn't it in there twice? That was one of the notes I had. Didn't two guys yell Khan?
Oh, I thought it was just Spock.
It was just Spock, yeah.
But I think it fits with the whole sort of through the looking glass kind of way he's telling the story. Now, what I mentioned in the review that I didn't want to get into, that I didn't think about until afterwards, and my friend Bibbs pointed out, and I was like, oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so the frozen bodies are hidden inside the photon torpedoes, and Khan is conspiring to have them shot at him so that he can get them back and revive them. But there are warheads inside those torpedoes. So wouldn't they all explode?
He wanted them. But he wanted them not shot at him. He wanted them. I thought at the end he wanted them beamed.
No, he did. But Peter Weller's plan was shoot these torpedoes at Khan.
I think there weren't warheads in. I think Spock put the warheads in.
No. I think they came onto the ship that way. And the idea being that Khan, being 2 steps ahead of Peter Weller in his chess game, would be like, I'm going to go here. You're going to fire those photon torpedoes at me, but I put the bodies inside the photon torpedoes, and that's how I get them back. Which is all great, except for the warhead parts.
Maybe they just think there are warheads in them, but instead there are people.
I thought
there are warheads.
There also?
Well, yeah. Remember, they almost Bones and Alice Eve almost die, and they had to get teleported off.
But wasn't the line of Bones that wasn't his damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a
torpedo technician.
Not a torpedo technician. And then later they asked Bones, did you weaponize so I think Bones weaponized them.
Oh, so they weren't warheads before.
That was Spock's thing of like, I'm beaming them aboard, but guess what? I weaponized them. And of course I took the bodies out because I'm not going to kill 7.
Right, okay.
But then what I thought you were going to say, but why?
I see your concern.
That was not made clear
when
then.
Spock goes down.
Well, that's a problem then if it's not made clear, right?
No, everything was, there was a lot of stuff that was one quick line.
Yeah.
When Spock goes down to fight Khan, which I thought was silly. I didn't love that scene. I just thought it felt sort of gratuitous. And again, I don't like it when you turn people whose skill, like when James Bond, as I've said many times, is driving the tank it's not interesting. James Bond gets the tank operator to accidentally blow up his own Kremlin, right? So when Spock becomes a warrior and wins a fight with this guy, or even hangs in a fight with this guy, I'm not buying it.
That's his human side.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
Right?
But he's not good at that. That's not his. That's not his.
Okay, well,
but hold on.
But the Vulcans, they're all logical, but they can kick some ass.
I got it.
He's doing it for his friend who also saved him.
Right.
Yeah.
I got it. I know the motivation. I just didn't think it was. That felt ordinary to me. That felt played out. It wasn't. He didn't do something clever to get the guy. He just beat him in a fist fight.
Sure.
But he went down there to get Khan's blood because they, again, over a 28-second period, Bones goes, hey, wait a minute, Khan's blood is super blood and he can bring Kirk back to life because it brought the treble back to life. Right? So that felt, so I was already like, right? And then, but if there were 72 other guys, other superhumans
somebody else
there.
raised that too, but they don't know if they all have the same Khan blood.
You could have tried.
They know that Khan has the Khan blood.
But they're all
Time was of the essence, man. Damn it.
And you don't want to
Get the fuck
defrost
out,
another
yeah.
one of these guys and then have two lunatics running around.
But apparently you can just freeze it back up again. Like it's also what we learned. It's not like I don't feel like that's nitpicky if it just because it all felt they all felt like very safe, easy solutions. Like these guys are some of the most clever people in Hollywood, and they just felt like but Khan has super blood and it didn't feel nearly sophisticated enough.
All this being said, however, I still enjoyed myself.
So did I.
And I still
So did I.
recommend the
It's
movie,
pretty
so,
fun.
They're so appealing. They're all so likable.
Yeah.
They're all so likable and clever.
But to find your own thing to nitpick about.
Yeah, totally.
There are plenty.
It's part of the fun.
Bye.